Hello, you, and welcome to Geekism.
That's my line.
My wife is even laughing at me. He made me do it.
Hello, you. Welcome to Geekism. My name is John T, and I'm joined by MaskedBandit. Hello.
Hello.
So this is a site for sore eyes. We haven't had Pinewood Hills for a few weeks now. But we're back in, and if you've been following the series, you'll know that Masked took it off me and has been playing around with it for a little bit. How'd you get on?
Good. It was something that's been going on since the last update is a stability issue on these larger parks. I ran into way more crashes than I thought I was going to, but I think I got a bunch done.
We got stuff done. Yeah, I opened up Geekism Studios the other day. On a live stream, I was building a movies sign, a sign for the movies game to go on my backlot tour, and I didn't get it finished because I wasn't well, so I cut the stream short. So I loaded up the game and went to finish this sign. I opened the game, loaded up the park, clicked a piece, press X to go into Gizmo, and it crashed.
Did it do the thing where it just freezes on you, right?
Just the whole thing, yeah. And I was like, oh, great. Like, it literally took, because it takes like 5 minutes to load a park up in a minute. I mean, we've been chatting since Pinewood loaded up. What was that, like 8 minutes or something?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, this isn't a bitch on Planko episode. This is a this is a
look at all the fun things.
This isn't a bro coaster episode. This is
it's half a bro coaster episode.
Yeah, this is Pinewood Hills. So the remit, what you'll see, I keep just sort of teetering over it to it there. You can see something in the background. Your sort of remit was a 70s expansion, 1970s expansion, early steel looper.
Yes, which is it. That sounded like a great jumping off point until I realized I don't know what makes like architecture 70s in theme parks. So I decided to just go as generic as possible because
but I think you're right there. I think 70s like pretty much that, like, we, especially in the UK at least, there wasn't really many places theming. To be fair, most of our examples park wise, like Alton Towers didn't open until the late 70s, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, Alton Towers opened with the corkscrew. Although I say that, it was open as like a gardens that you could walk around and stuff, and they had like a carousel maybe and a few other things, but it didn't actually open as a theme park or as an amusement park, I guess, until that sort of time. So here we've got a great view of it, and have we got custom supports?
We do. We do have custom supports. Well, there's a template by Kinderly that he has on his workshop.
It's like a click and drag type job,
sort
isn't
of.
it?
Yeah, it's the basic parts of that lift hill, and so it was a good jumping off point. That's awesome. The only part. That's the only part.
So we're gonna. Well, that's cool though. I think it's first of all, it creates a really great line of sight there. Yeah. And also to see, like, people who go to UK parks will know this. To see a coaster above the tree line isn't very common because Thorpe Park's on an island, so there isn't much of a tree line there. Blackpool is in the middle of a town, so there's no trees.
Has the tree limit.
Say again?
I said I know Alton Towers has the height limit.
And then Alton Towers obviously can't build above the tree lines. Yeah, so this isn't something we see very often, really, but it looks awesome. So we're going to come in. So we get to go through Sparrow Wolf. Yeah, because like Blackpool is just in the middle of it's in Blackpool town centre, so it's just concrete everywhere, you know.
Okay, I do like that I was very happy with that sight line. I was like, oh, that actually works really well.
Yeah, that works really good. Yeah, so we come up here. So the plan is for there's so many staff. The plan is
it's because they kept moving shops. They kept jumping out.
And they're all named Tejik Cam as well, I bet.
Most probably are. Yes.
So the plan is that this here is going to kind of be the transitional period from like 60s. So the last of the 60s is going to be the Zozo that I haven't done anything with really yet, that Rubel put down. So then we're going to head up here. We've got a bit of a inclination change, and then look at this. So we've started
everything back there is mine.
Yeah, so I put this retaining wall in for the go-karts, but then you kind of
I started to dress it up
at the top of it.
Yeah, and hopefully you like it, my little planters and all that.
Yeah, it looks awesome. So I know the other thing that you said was that you were going to try and bring in a few of the sort of brands that we've seen in some of the other parks as well, and bring them across.
Yep.
Mass said to me it was because it'd be a nice thing to sort of tie parts together. It's just because that he could throw stuff down quick, I know.
It's true.
So we now have a Mind Gluten store.
That's right. You actually don't have a Mind Gluten cart, but you have a Mind Gluten
we have a whole store,
restaurant.
Which is awesome. And then with the Bandit IPA on there as well, which is very British. We love our beer. We love German beer as well over here.
Oh, excellent. Very good.
And this is gorgeous. This reminds me a lot of what's it called at Blackpool? There's a one of those bobsleigh rides. You know, the coasters where it's just it goes into the wooden chute. Their station looks very kind of this kind of sort of chocolate box. So
this was what I was working on today. I totally just threw this together in like the last hour and a half.
Awesome. So you said that there are obviously like these sort of areas here need tidying up just because the couple of crashes you've kind of been
I have hints of backstage, but I didn't get to do nearly the amount of detail that I wanted.
Okay.
So,
but that's good because that's given me a sort of push-off point to kind of go in and carry on. So where should we go, left or right?
I'd say go right.
Okay, so we've got a little area here we can do some stuff with, and then we have a churro stand.
I don't know if that's, again, something easy to plop down.
Yeah, it is. We may go in and have to... they're not really a thing here. No, I know what they are. They're like long strips of donuts.
Yeah,
aren't
the
they?
cinnamon, the fried cinnamon.
So we get them. Although
I mean, they're Spanish.
They're not. So they're not British.
No, you're closer to Spain than I am.
Yeah, no, we get them, but I think that we'll go big and make that just sort of like donut holes or something like that, a bit more sort of suitable. But yeah, it's a really cute little stand. Whoop, we're jumping up there.
Thank you. It's a little rustic, but it works.
Yeah, no, rustic is. I mean, like I say, I saw that thing there, the pit shot one there, on the video you did, and then I sent you the pictures of the ones from Alton Towers, didn't I? They were pretty much the same
pretty much
kind of thing. Yeah,
it's pretty much spot on. So
okay, so we've got our first flat. Is this here?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so this is the Orbiter, which is a
collider. Is that what it's called?
I think so. Yeah, we have one of these. I know there's one in Alton Towers called Enterprise. And it's pretty much
that's what it was called in RollerCoaster Tycoon 3, I think.
Oh, that may be where they got it from.
Enterprise.
Yeah,
there you go.
So this is gorgeous. We've got some really sort of plain queuing. Yeah,
jank. Yeah, I went as generic and as jank as I could. So, yeah, it's intentionally kind of gross looking.
No,
and
the
mismatched colors. You'll notice the queue is green and the ride is red. We're gonna say we're going to repaint it, or I don't know which one is newer than the other. You also notice all the colors in this area of the rides are like faded intentionally.
Yeah, that's also like sun bleached.
Yeah, exactly. Because if this has been since the 70s, these rides have been around for a while.
Yeah, definitely, and they're still all working, and like they're the sort of things that if it's a really quiet day in the park, you'll go on, but otherwise you'll probably skip past these just as the coasters kind of thing. Yeah. And then we have the scissor over on this side, which is is it a troika? Is it?
Have that. No, that's the scrambler.
Oh, okay.
The troika. Well, that's later.
Oh, okay. Oh, we got those as well. Cool. Okay. Oh, yeah.
The entrance is actually on the other side, so there's no entrance. Yeah, the entrance of the scissors on the other side.
Okay, cool. So we've got a little bit of. So I kind of quite like the fact that it's just a plain bit of grass here.
Yeah, I did that in a couple places intentionally. And actually, you'll notice the divot here. You're not going to be able to change it with terrain unless you rip the path out. Because actually, I've used the natural paving, the natural path to eliminate the actual scissor pad. The pad is shrunken. It's a custom pad.
Oh, I see. Right, yeah. So the actual scissor comes out to like here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a huge.
So unfortunately, that means that you can landscape in there, but you can't put much else in there.
Okay, that's fine, no problem. I get that though, but that's good because, like you said, they have huge footprints, don't they? So,
they do.
Okay, so what we got here? We've got the corner store,
and then CS for Conifer Slopes, or corner store, or whatever.
Yeah, and Candy Shack. Again, CS. This is cool.
I don't know.
We've got a lot of archers around.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of random archers around.
Yeah. You wouldn't. Oh god, I've just jumped up onto a roof.
Uh-oh. Good luck getting down.
We don't use the word candy. We say sweets.
See, I tried to be all British.
Yeah,
and I didn't know that one.
Like it's the sort of thing that we would call a store. Like we know what the word is. Like I think British people are a lot better at using Americanisms than Americans are at using like British words. You know.
Sure.
Like British people know exactly what a sidewalk and a trunk is, whereas I think a lot of American people probably wouldn't know pavement and boots.
Boot?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Wow.
But if you said to me,
I get. Yeah.
Yeah, if you say I was going to put something in the trunk, I'd be well aware what you're on about. And I think it's mostly down to the fact that we get a lot of American imports, TV and film
and I know
stuff,
I know lorry and lift and all that stuff. But.
Sure.
But I was watching some show, where it's a British show where they go into it's like a house hunters show where they hunt in the country, and they went to the oldest sweet shop in the UK or something. I should have known that. Yeah, so that makes sense. Sweet shop.
But like I say, but it's the kind of thing they would say. Oh, let's make this cool. #SpookyDoor, by the way. Let's make this cool and say candy.
Let's make this an American area.
Yeah, 70s. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, 70s were very, like, mostly 60s we were very into Americana, but it's kind of never gone away, really, so it's the sort of thing they would say to be just, candy is instantly cooler than sweets,
Oh, there you go, I'm learning stuff today.
And then we have Arrow Gifts,
which is directly tied to the...
I was just about to say, gives us a very bit of a nod. Oh, look at this sign, that's awesome, that's so 70s, I love it.
I actually looked, that is, the inspiration was from the Green Arrow comic.
Oh, okay.
The logo for the Green Arrow. I was like, oh, and it's a little bit tweaked just because of the pieces, the size of the pieces.
Sure.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty 70s. I thought it was pretty much what you were going for.
It's awesome. Yeah, like just a bit too garish, Like it's whenever I've looked at sort of 70s stuff, it's almost like they just figured out what color was,
Yeah.
Like, and they were like, oh, let's just put it everywhere.
Yeah,
I didn't. A good spooky door that was then.
Quality. I didn't want to do the whole like bubbly 70s Austin Powers fonts.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think that would be what they'd use in a theme park. So
no, probably not. No, I think that's good. So Arrow name-wise, have you got a story behind the name?
I'm trolling some of your viewers.
Yeah. So originally we talked about the fact that we were going to have an early steel looper like an Arrow or a Vekoma.
Right. And I have zero experience with Vekoma. So.
Yeah. And then somebody pointed out that Arrow is a much more American-based company, and there are only like 5 Arrows in the UK or something like that.
But there are some in the UK.
There are 5. So this could be one of the 5, or this could be the 6th. Probably. Arguably the most iconic coaster in the country is an Arrow, the big one at Blackpool.
Yeah, that was that's what your color scheme is a nod to.
Right. Okay. So red and blue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta remember, I'm really colorblind, so I will never point out color.
Oh,
you have to tell me what color is.
Yeah. The color scheme was a nod to an Arrow that is in the UK.
That is in the UK.
Is the big one. It's not called Pepsi Max, the big one, anymore.
Well, I don't know. I think they lost the license, but they had this. Okay. There was a huge can of Pepsi Max that you went through at the end of the ride. On the last break run, there was a huge tube that they painted up to look like a can of Pepsi Max, and then they lost the Pepsi Max branding, so the ride was just called the big one. But the tube never went away, and it got really badly like sun drenched and whatever. But it was still there, and it still said Pepsi Max. But then this last year, they've repainted it, they've repainted it as the Pepsi Max still, but the ride's still called the big one. So I don't really know what the branding of it is anymore, to be honest with you. But we're gonna save that to that because we'll go on that and then we'll ride it. So let's move over this way instead. We've got a TFB. Woo!
TFB. Woo! Everyone needs a TFB. Tiny frozen balls.
We had these in the UK for a little while, and then I've never seen them since.
Oh, the little Dippin' Dots?
The little Dippin' Dots, yeah. We have an ice cream here called the Solero, which is kind of like it's like ice cream on a stick, and it's covered in like a fruit ice. If that makes sense. Like, do you get Magnum?
It's like creamy.
You get Magnums over there, don't you?
Is it like a dreamsicle? Where it's like orange.
I don't know what that is.
A dreamsicle is like orange ice cream, and then it's got like orange sherbet on the outside.
No, not sherbet. It's like a Magnum, but instead of chocolate on the outside, it's like a fruit. It's like an ice, like if you were just eating like a fruit ice lolly, like an ice pop or whatever, like a thin layer of it over it. And they came out with a thing called Solero shots, which are basically Dippin' Dots. But they came and went. We had them for a few years, and I don't think you can get them anymore. So anyone who's... I'm a bit of a like, I don't know what the word is, but like an Americanophile with like I'm really into like American culture and stuff, so I often know the references, but a lot of people watching probably don't. So if you're wondering what Dippin' Dots are, which is what TFB are based on, they're basically like Solero shots, if you remember those.
Okay, well, there you go. I have no idea what that is, so I'll take your word for it.
And then we have the frequent friars.
Frequent friars.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Americanisms on here, pal. We're going to have our words here.
See, I didn't know. I put chips.
Chips, yeah, we have chips. What the hell are elephant ears? Other than
funnel
ears
cake.
Of elephants.
Funnel cake?
Right. Okay.
Do you have funnel cakes?
No, I know of them.
Damn
I
it.
don't think we get them, and we don't get corn dogs.
Well, I didn't. What do you guys eat at Fair?
Fish and chips.
Is that really a theme park thing? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, you can get fish and chips. There's a really good it actually looks a bit like this. I was wondering whether you looked at this. There's like a row of what do we call these? QRS? No.
Quick QSRs.
QSRs. There's a row of QSRs in Blackpool that looks very similar to this, actually, that does like fish and chips.
That's funny.
I mean, we do get a lot of American, we have hot dogs, burgers, nachos, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But I'd be quite, if I saw corn dogs, I'd be like, oh, look, corn dogs. That would be a bit of a surprise for me. Like, I know what they are, but that would be a bit of a surprise. But I've never heard of elephant ears.
And you got more churros there, too. See, funnel cakes, I didn't know. I'm like, I don't know. Do they have funnel cakes? We call them funnel cakes. I don't call them elephant ears, but that's basically what they are. Well, damn. Well, you could change it to make them sell other things. It's funny you mentioned the building thing, though, because this is a direct ripoff of a building in Cedar Point.
Oh, that's right. I remember you saying in your video now, actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's called the Happy Friar.
Cool.
So, yeah.
But yeah, frequent friars, definitely. I like the name, and that's obviously we have fish and chips everywhere, so frying food is something we do pretty well. But
I was good. Do you do the fried candy bars? Is that something you can get at theme parks?
No, but we know of it. It's a Scottish thing more than a British thing. That fried candy bars. Yeah, I think that's where the whole fried Mars bar first came from. Was somewhere in Scotland, I think.
Okay.
And even there, it's a bit of a there's a few places that do it, and you would go there if you were a tourist sort of thing.
Okay.
I don't think it's the sort of thing people get on a weekday or whatever.
Down here in Houston at the rodeo or at the state fair, everything is fried. I've had fried cheesecake, fried Oreos, fried everything. Yeah.
I love this seating area because it's just so boring.
Yeah, there's some terrain issues that need to be sorted out there. Forgot about those.
Oh, that's fine, but we can sort it, do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah,
okay,
you probably can. And I forgot to extend the path.
That's okay. We can neaten that up. I like that. We'll have a look. We'll do some overhead shots of the coaster in a moment.
But you do get a nice little look at the coaster if you sit at that back table. I think
that's awesome. Look at that. Oh, yeah, that's cool.
There you go.
That's very cool. I like that a lot. So how do we get... I'm trying to find the entrance to the... I'm back on a pissing umbrella again.
What do you want an entrance to?
The scissor. Scissor?
Oh, you just keep going. Go past the you loop around. You kind of walk around the scissor.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
That's
how you get to the Troika, too.
Oops. And the Troika as well.
Mm-hmm. Which doesn't have a name.
I like the fact that it's a bit windy because UK parks there's no plan at all. I don't think there's a single planned park in the UK. They're all sort of they stick stuff where they can. Like obviously in the States there's Disney, Universal. They're all very sort of planned. Right. As far as I'm aware, every single park in the UK is whatever bit of land they can get hold of next. You know, they'll stick stuff there. So.
Well, my thought was everything leads back to the coaster. And so if you didn't want to go by this area, you can bypass this area entirely. So just swing to the left. And
right, okay, cool. Yeah, so we can come down this way instead. And we've got the scissor.
And again, just because of the letters on there, I named it Scissor.
Because you can't really get away from it, can you? The fact that it's called that. But that's fine. It's a bit of a weird name, but it doesn't.
I think I did good with my Britishisms here, though.
Candy floss, very good. Yes, yeah. It's not cotton candy. It's candy floss. No, I like it.
I remembered. I knew that one for sure.
Yeah,
so
that's a good one. Yeah, well done. And that is exactly the sort of thing we obsessed with candy floss. Yeah.
And here's another one of your big intentionally open green spaces in front of this Troika.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's just like there's no point in doing anything with it. Almost like that's I imagine their thinking behind it.
Yeah.
Like there's the flat.
And You said you wanted it to be Pinewood Hills. This
Yeah.
is the most terrain work I've ever done.
Yeah, this is like I wouldn't have gone to this much trouble. This is like this looks really good.
You've even
This
got a
is
hill
almost like-
behind all of it.
I reckon with a bit of work on the time of day and stuff, like, there's a trident shot in here somewhere. You know, I think this is.
I think
this
I took
is,
a couple. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So hold on, who gets the credit for that? Seeing as it's technically my park, I don't know.
Well, if you take the picture, it's your. Hey, you take the picture. It's your trident. I take the picture.
So this
it's mine.
this is a bit of a whip here then. So we need to.
Yeah. We didn't get through all of it. I got the cover, but I didn't get a chance to pave it or to curb it or landscape.
This covers. This really just looks like the sort of thing you'd find in Alton Towers. This
Awesome.
really does. Like Alton Towers, like they theme everything now, but there was a time when they didn't. You know, and if you remember back, you know, people sort of my age and a bit older remember back to Alton Towers in like the 80s and 90s. It was everything was just wooden sheds. You know, that's just what they did. So
And
it's really
after
great to see
doing
some of those.
after looking at some of it, it's not that different than a Six Flags park in that regard.
No.
So that it was nice. At first, I was really worried because I'm like, I don't know what a British park is, but it's not that different.
No, I don't think it is. Like I say, the only thing is now in that I want to, from this area onwards, everything's going to be a little bit more themed because it's almost like, I think probably what did it, but I'm completely spitballing here, but probably what did it is the fact that during the 80s it became a bit easier to get to the States. So they kind of, you know, they started being up against Disney and other, you know, other sort of more theme parks. So that was really when Alton Towers started to properly theme rides, you know. So like late 80s, 90s, we started to get things like the Secret Weapon series, so Nemesis and things like that. But before then, they had Black Hole, I guess. But the Black Hole, which was a space-themed indoor coaster, I say space-themed, it was dark and there was a few luminescent balls hanging around that were meant to be planets, you know. But it wasn't in a space area, you know. It was literally sort of plonked down, you know.
Yeah, and even like, I know with Six Flags, it'll depended a lot on whoever was in charge of the company, because in the early 90s, like when Batman came out in 92, that ride, the queue is themed gorgeously and it's got really nice. But then their idea of theming now is let's put up some posters and some loud music. So
and that'll do, like minimum now. If anything, I think we're almost doing the opposite now in the UK. They're really kind of pulling out the stops. Like Wicker Man is really, really well themed and some great pre-show and stuff. And
watching your vlogs, I've done like that looks really nice.
Yeah, and like Icon at Blackpool again looks really nicely themed. They've gone for like a Japanese garden kind of theme, you know. And
that's cool.
Although Blackpool has done some theming in the past, like I say, the big one was you went through a big can of Pepsi Max, you know. So they've definitely kind of, and Chestnut World of Adventure had they've rethemed their log flume to be, and they've had a tiger enclosure built inside it. So your log flume goes through a tiger enclosure, and they've built this big tiger's head that the log flume goes through. You know, like we're almost getting like a bit of a renaissance of theming in the UK at the moment. So that's something I want to kind of move forward with Pinewood. Is that, you know, this is kind of the last generic.
This will be your
really,
jankiest, least themed area of
I think
the
so,
park,
yeah.
I think.
And also, and this is again something I said to you, and when I passed it on to Rubel, the idea with the 60s area was we didn't really have any big rides in the 60s. We kind of had a Ferris wheel and dodgems and stuff. So the budget went on the buildings, you know. Whereas here, the complete budget went on the coaster, you know. The budget,
the coaster and three really big rides, thrilling rides.
Yeah, exactly. The remit was we need to get people in the park, and we need a big thing we can stick on a poster. You know, we need a big thing we can put onto TV, and that's going to be a big coaster. So, and I think you completely nailed that sort of feel. It's so gorgeous what you've done. So should we have a look at Arrow then?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so we've got.
It's heavily influenced by the Demon, which is the Arrow coaster I'm most familiar with. It's at two places in the United States, and the history of it, you'll notice when you look at the layout, is when we look at the layout, there's this really weird straightaway after the two loops.
Right.
It's because originally the coaster was built without loops in it at all. It had two airtime hills, and then it turned into two corkscrews. And the lift, the airtime hills were they were infamous for being ejector airtime and things flying out. So in 1980, it used to be called Turn of the Century, And then in 1980, they rethemed it to the Demon, and they added the 2 loops after the drop. But that left this weird straightaway, which they made a tunnel and with lights. And so I did all of that. So you basically have the history of that ride in your park. So we can even go so far as to say that originally it only had the corkscrews, and then they added the loops later.
And they added the loops in a few years later.
Why not borrow some of that history?
I love this, by the way. Sorry, this chain link fence around here.
Oh, I'm glad.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so all the supports are Kinderly's template that I just used, and I showed it to him a little bit to make sure I was on the right track, because he's pretty good at this stuff. So, and I like, again, this open area kind of thing before you get into your out and back section.
Yeah, I was just about to say, do we have like a cattle pen?
You do up a bit.
Great. Yeah, so here we go. Let's come in. So we have a cattle pen here. That's great. So these are the sort of areas that they can sort of cut off if they need to,
Yeah.
Oh, wow, it's so good. I'm really impressed, pal. I'm really happy with what you've done.
I'm glad. I'm always nervous when I do things like this.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. I've not really done a big taken on somebody's part for a while yet, and I'm dreading the day somebody asks me, because I just.
There's your terribly jank tunnel behind you, by the way.
I just noticed there's a few.
It is a big, stupid rectangle. That is the most basic shaped Planet Coaster thing I've ever made.
and then we're here. So station-wise, then, is this based on the Demon as well?
Kind of. The pitched roof I don't think is on it, but it's very similar. Yeah, it's very simple. Just get on the ride kind of a thing. It's not even all covered like this. Like I'm used to all the stations being completely covered. Demon is not.
Okay, cool. Right, let's ride it.
All right.
Okay. Oh, we're all on the first drop. Let's go back. Let's go. There's only one train. Okay, come on.
Oh, there should be more than one. So it can break. I have it. We could set it up to do brake blocking, and 2 is standard.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 work quite well. Just before we have a good overview of the area, I want to kind of scooch in really without seeing much.
You get some good views from your go-karts too. I tried to have them kind of.
Okay, let's wait for it to come back in.
All right.
Let's have a look. Operations. Yeah, number of trains 1.
Oh yeah, click block there. Yeah.
Block.
There you go.
Oops, 2. There we go. Cool.
Yeah, you don't want. I wouldn't do more than 2.
Okay, and then we're. Wait. Let's go to car 1, seat 1.
1 or 2. Sure.
And are we sped up?
Shouldn't be. Oh yes.
No, we're not anymore.
The nice thing is when you, I was able to, with the coloring of the cars, get rid of the Great American Screen Machine on front.
I thought you could. Can't you change the name now and it changes?
I don't know. I don't think you can of this one.
And this one, right? Okay. So you just coloured it so that the letters are the same colour as the car.
Yeah.
That's
fine. And so
look at this. Oh, this is good. So we've got that little sort of pre-drop.
Yeah, your standard.
I love the washed out red.
I'm glad. I originally had it. Their support there needs some fixing. I originally had it much more saturated, and I was like, that wouldn't make sense. So.
Yeah, it would look really ropey. This is great. Oh, the noise of this coaster, it's so good. It just sounds like such an old coaster, doesn't it?
Yeah. And they're rough. So.
Look at that. That's cool.
And arrows, and I think Vacomas, they're very simple, and they're not very advanced with their techniques because they're an older coaster. So.
Yeah, they're not meant to be smooth at all, really. You're meant to be able to see each section almost, like as if it was built in RCT 1 or 2, like that sort of click and drop
puzzle piece for sure.
Yeah.
And then you have as close as I could get, transfer track here.
Yeah, that's looking good.
Again,
I like that cover.
Some TLC.
Yeah, I like that. I like the cover there, though.
I'm glad.
Really nice.
I'm glad.
That's awesome.
So there you go. So that's your coaster arrow.
Okay, so let's have a little sort of overview then, because I think although it's nice to walk around, I think really, let's be honest, this is how we play the game. So this is sort of how we look at it. I love this trench. This is really good.
Oh, thanks.
Did you just want that as a design thing, or is that like part of the?
I wanted it
to solve a problem.
Well, what I did is I put in the terrain first, then started to build the coaster, and I wanted that dip, so that meant I had to tunnel it out a bit. So the demon has a tunnel right there, and I didn't want it to. Okay, so it's 95% of the demon.
That's fine.
So yeah, no, and then making the retaining walls and stuff, it ended up looking a lot better than I ever anticipated. So.
Yeah, that looks really, really good. I like that a lot.
I'm glad.
And then we come here, we've got this, it's just deselected to that weird glow thing.
Yeah.
And then, these are nice. These supports are cool.
Those are actually in-game, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they actually, sometimes, like, they don't look right. They looked good enough. I tried to make my own, and I did no. Yeah. I just said no. Not gonna happen. I probably could have, but
is that just like one in-game piece, that archway?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've never.
You can.
Never
well, it's not a
that.
piece. It's not a piece. It's
Right.
in the actual supports. So as you're building the coaster, you can choose. You know how you can choose supports on or off. With this coaster now, you can choose alternate support for corkscrews.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So this is a thing that's used. Then this is an actual type of support for this ride.
Yeah, that's an actual support for the ride, right?
Oh, it looks neat. Look at that.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool view.
Yeah, that's really good. I love it. So let's zoom out a little bit more then, have a look at this sort of layout. So it's a little sprawling, but it's relatively compact, really.
Right. I was surprised when referencing, I was looking at maps and all that. It is the distance between them. That might be a little wide between the station and the loops, but for the most part, it is surprisingly wide. I tried to narrow it, but then the corkscrews and the turnaround just never lined up the way I needed them to. So so I stuck with what I had here.
No, it's really good. Again, it's really difficult to kind of base it on a reference for a British park because the sort of big three all have massive restrictions on building. Because like I say, Blackpool is literally in the middle of a town. Like there are houses all around it. Thorpe Park is on an island, and obviously Alton Towers. A lot of the space there is listed, and obviously they can't build above trees and stuff. So we don't really have sprawling coasters like this in the UK, but that's not because it's not a UK thing. It's just because the sort of the big reference points we have
and the
space can't do it. We just can't do it. But if somebody came along and bought a few hundred acres, they could quite easily do something like this and use the sort of the hills. So to speak,
right, and I figured
hills,
your wooden coaster's pretty tall, and I don't even think this is as big as your wooden coaster.
No, I think Skyline. I think it sits a little higher, but then the space it's on is a little higher. Like we bought.
The land it takes up. I get what you're saying. Yeah. It does take up a lot of real estate. I guess my thought was if this was an expansion in the 70s, there was nothing else around here, so they had the room to take up, and so they did it.
So everything else is probably going to be a little bit more squished in. The only thing we need to add here, which I think will work quite well, is we're going to have Pinewood Manor itself, as in the sort of manor house that the land was bought from, because that's a very common thing we have here in the UK. Like Alton Towers, Drayton Manor, I think Chessington as well. They're all based on sort of, originally they were manor homes that opened up the gardens, and then over the years they sort of let a little bit more land go. So that's going to be the plan. Is we actually have it sort of half built. It was something I started and never got around to finishing. So the idea is it'll be somewhere. Let's have a look, sort of scale wise. There we go. Pinewood Manor. We got halfway into building something there. So this is kind of, this will kind of sit over here, and we'll make a gardens that people can come around. So this will be probably as far
the edge of the actual park,
as we go, and then the rest of the park will kind of sit around the lake, I guess.
Cool.
But look at that; those flats will sit really nice, don't they?
Yeah, it took me a while. Layouts are not my strength. If you've watched Bro Coaster, layouts are not my strength. Yeah. But I think I'm pretty happy with it. I like that you can avoid the area entirely if you want to. The coaster's way in the back to draw you in.
Yeah, to get people through. But like you say, if you've done that coaster this morning, or whatever, you can, like you say, you can just come up here and head into
whatever's next.
Gulpy Land is next.
Gulpy Land.
Yeah, we're going to do pretty much every UK park has a kids themed area. So and they're usually based on an IP. So Alton Towers has CBeebies, which CBeebies is the BBC's kids channel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so and then Blackpool has Nickelodeon Land.
Really?
Yeah, there's a Nickelodeon, and it's just a wad of concrete with loads of flats on. But then all the flats are a little bit more themed than just a flat, you know. So there's like a little Dora the Explorer flat, and then there's like a little Rugrats log flume, you know. But the log flume itself is just one of those, you know, those really crappy.
Up, turn around, down.
Yeah, basically. But they stick a few statues around it, and it's Rugrats, you know. So they all have one. There's a Thomas the Tank Engine land. We have a Peppa Pig.
That's
land.
where I would hang out.
Yeah,
in the Thomas land.
So yeah, every park kind of has a. There's Lightwater Valley has a Angry Birds area. You know, so it's a big thing for UK parks to have an IP based kids area.
See, I want to make one. I want to make one on an author here of kids book, Mo Willems. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Elephant and Piggy books.
Oh, I heard of the books. Yeah, I wouldn't know the name.
Or the pigeon books. I think those would be cute for a kids land. So
yeah, that's good. So so that's the idea. Is like a kids. I think the idea is it's like it's an easy influx of cash. You know, it's a good chunk of cash that that a big company will put up. And also it's a big draw, you know, to say, you know, CBeebies land at Alton Towers pretty much has kept Alton Towers open for the last few years, ever since the Smiler incident. Like, the only reason Alton Towers is still doing well is because of CBeebies land. So yeah, we're gonna. I thought it'd be quite cool to do that using all the in-game characters that you'd never normally use. So there's going to be a Gulpy land with like Princess Amelie and what's the pirate
that'll be
dude,
good too. Yeah, because it's totally across from because this area has a lot of thrill rides. So it'll be nice to have a bunch of more gentle rides.
So and also some of the more gentle rides that you just like, the stuff that you wouldn't put down because they're overly themed, like the Whirly Gig and stuff. They all work perfect in this because that's exactly the sort of thing you would get, like just a really overly themed. But pretty rubbish flat, you know.
Like your Gulpy land could just use the Planet Coaster theme.
Yeah, basically that's the idea.
That's awesome.
So that's what's going to be passed here, and like you say, that'll work quite well in the, you know, here's quite a thrilling bit, you know, lots of sort of you're gonna puke flats, and a coaster that's going to give you a headache now, let's be honest.
Absolutely.
If you're riding a 70s steel coaster in modern day, like, you're going to come off that with a bit of a head rattle. So areas we didn't see then, we've got a bit of a backstagey bit here.
Yeah, need like some, again, I'll do with that what you will.
Yeah, that's cool. No, well, like I say, we'll just kind of, like fill it out with a few dumpsters and stuff, you know.
Sure.
It is what it is. So that's pretty neat. And then, to be honest with you, when you've been saying to me all week, it's really unfinished and stuff, but it isn't really. It's kind of all
thanks.
there.
I could have kept working on it for days.
You've always got to kind of put a plug in it, haven't you?
At one point, I'm like, all right, we got 30 minutes before we record. I have to stop.
Awesome. No, I think it's really, really awesome. It's my personal favorite thing to see. Whenever we're like the same with when I give it to Rubel as well, is just like the where I'd left it, you know, just to kind of see that start getting tied in.
Yeah.
So it really sits.
Well, that was because it was before anything else was there. That wall was huge in comparison to everything else. But now it totally not because of but just because of the next area now.
Just because there's stuff. Yeah, definitely. Like that was always the plan when I put it in. I thought, oh god, that does look a bit OTT. But I always knew that kind of when it was tied in. And also I've got some over here on the pier. These like
those are great. The telescopes.
So I was thinking a couple of these over here would probably. I mean, I know that all you can really see is the go-karts, but that just kind of ties.
Oh, that'd be that's a great idea. I actually to try and add some coherency. Some of the fencing that's in this area is some of the stuff you've already put down. I just copied it and to make some some of the wooden fencing, custom wooden fencing throughout.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, just to kind of tie it all in.
Right.
But again, it needs to be a lot of sort of just plain metal and brick. Just serviceable. Like it does exactly what it needs to do. Yeah.
And like the corner store, don't ask me what it sells because I don't know.
That's cool. We have corner again, like 10 points for effort. But we don't have
shop.
Stores. We have shops, yeah.
I got Candy Shop.
Yeah, Candy Shop. Yeah,
I was halfway right there.
No, Candy Shack we've got.
Oh, yeah, Candy Shack. That's right.
Yeah. But
Do you have Shacks?
No, not really. It reminds me of, isn't there a movie about golf?
There's Caddy, C-A-D-D-Y.
Caddy Shack. Yeah, Caddy Shack. There you go. That's what it makes me think of. That was what's his name? That dead American guy.
Oh, Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield?
Is that his name? No, what's his name?
The
guy
comedian
who
that's in it.
did the Lampoons as well. Is that his name?
Chevy Chase?
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. Chevy
He's
Chase,
still alive.
Oh, is he still I never said he was dead, did I?
I thought you said he did.
No.
I don't know.
We missed this one as well, Snack Shack.
Oh, yeah.
This.
Well, that's good. We got a big gulpy sign there for you.
Yeah. And that's sort of tied in. Oh, I love it. It's exactly what we need. It's just like real 70s, cheap as hell. Throw it all up because people are going to come to the coaster and we need places for them to eat. It's really good. Oh, you've done a great job, Master. You really have.
Good. I'm glad.
So, if people want to see more of this awesome stuff, where can they find you?
My YouTube channel and
Which
on
is
Twitter. MaskedBandit 102.
MaskedBandit? Obviously, there'll be a link.
102.
So, is there a 101 or does 102 mean
There
something?
was. 101
really?
was my original one back in RollerCoaster Tycoon 3. I had it since like 2007, 2008, and it got hacked. And in a fit of panic and rage, the hacker deleted all my videos and uploaded porn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I closed the channel and then deleted everything. And then when I went to I didn't realize you could recover it after I had deleted it. So I just opened a new one, MaskedBandit 102. So,
that makes sense. There you go.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah. and it hasn't put you off using the name MaskedBandit, even though you had a MaskedBandit in your house this week.
Oh my god! You have no idea how good I slept last night. Oh
yeah,
my
people that don't know that Mast actually had a raccoon.
Yeah, we had a wreck.
Was he in your loft? Was he? Was he up?
Is that the attic? Yeah.
Sorry, your attic. Yeah. See, there's another one.
Yep. He was up in the attic. He broke in through the soffit vents on our roof. And he was there for about 9 days. And at 12:45 in the morning on Friday morning, so right before the end of right before work, he got in the trap, and we had to call someone to come out and get him at 1 in the morning. So.
Oh no way! Is it like a trap alarmed? Was it or?
No, it's just a giant metal trap. So a raccoon in there is going to
just hear him.
Oh yes, you can. Oh, it was very loud. Yeah. Wow. Good times.
I can imagine.
In our house, yeah. But we're just relieved to have it done. He's gone
definitely.
now.
So he's done. But and you're still happy to have him as your mascot.
Sure. I'm in too deep. I can't change now.
Brilliant. So there you go. Obviously, I'll pop the first thing in the description will be a link to MaskedBandit's channel. Check it out. I'm sure, like, if you're watching me, there's a good chance you've seen some of his stuff because I constantly rave about RollerCoaster. And obviously, I'm a huge fan of kind of slopes as well. When we get one.
Yeah. Bro Nation Studios. I need to get back to that.
And Bro Nation Studios as well. Yeah, I've been loving that as well. Which is Mass Take on Studios. It's a little bit more sort of Disney. What's it? Hollywood Studios based.
Yeah.
Whereas I've gone for more of a
master planned
kind of
Hollywood Studios. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Okay, so please, click down on the link over there. Show him some love. Tell him Geekism sent you. And this is awesome. I can't. Do you know what? One thing that it really does for me, and again, when Rubel had the park as well, it really puts like a fire in my belly to just dive in.
Great.
Like, I need to go now. Like, I need to finish this video and go and do stuff in the house. But all I want to do is just come and play and just start to fill in gaps and stuff. So
I can't wait to see what you do.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Right,
thank you so much for joining me. And thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please click the like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe. Any thoughts, queries, or suggestions, you can pop them down in the comments. And if you fancy a chat, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Jonty Sparrow Masked.
Yep. Bye.
Your Twitter is
at MaskedBandit10. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know my own Twitter.
I'll link that in the description for you as well. How's that? Thanks very much for watching, folks. We'll see you in the next one.
I suck at this. Bye, guys.